Well, welcome guys. It's 8:05, so let's get started here. Thank you all for coming, despite it being Labor Day and the long holiday, even for, these many of us to be dedicated and be diehards about this is a great thing. So thank you. I'm glad everyone's here. And thank you to all of you for supporting Natasha last week. She jumped in at the last minute and rescued me, which was just so great. And I watched the recording, and it really touched my heart. So I want to say thank you to each one of you for encouraging her, for supporting her, and for cheering her on. She, obviously enjoyed herself so much. And that really comes from the energy of acceptance, and this energy of acceptance that we put out amongst us in our group here, individually and collectively. This energy, acceptance, is another word for love. I see you, I hear you, I accept you as you are. And this comes from this practice of meditation and mindfulness, when we really put our minds to opening our hearts to anything that shows up, when we follow the properties of who we truly are. And one of the most important elements of our making in this human body is water. And I really want to focus on that today and talk about water. As you all know, our bodies are 70% water in adulthood, 90% at birth, and about 40% at death. And really, this process of aging is a process of dehydration in our bodies. So if you think of wrinkles and all of the things that happen to our faces and our bodies as we age, it really is the process of our body not being able to hold the amount of water that it did when we were younger. And much of that depends on our connection with water and our awareness with how we are water, and we are synonymous with the properties of water. So really think about it. If we are 70% water, 90% at birth, and 70% in adulthood, as we all are, wouldn't it behoove us to follow the properties of water? When we are upset, when we get emotional, we get stuck, we stagnate. Think about water when it's stuck and stagnates in a corner. If water is sitting in a puddle, what happens to it? It collects bugs, it collects bacteria. And the same thing happens to us when we resist the flow within us. Because obviously, we are water and water is us. It is one of the biggest elements, one of the most important elements of our makeup, both physically and spiritually. So in order for us to understand our true selves and bring ourselves to mindfulness, bring ourselves to presence, to bring ourselves to the present moment experience, we can use the properties of water, we can mimic the properties of water with awareness, with intention, and create that flow within us. Water is literally, it's flawless, it's clear, it's formless, it's shapeless. It takes the shape of the container that it's in. And this is the message for our own personalities to stay in flow, is to understand that if we can use our emotions, if we can use our thoughts, if we can use this body as the container of the water of our emotions and thoughts, then we can actually keep ourselves in a state of flow. Understanding this flow within can really help us recognize the flow out of us, outside of us, and even create the flow outside of us. So making ourselves synonymous, making ourselves one with the internal state and the external flow of our life can easily be done if we tap into the simple properties of water and if we use water consciously. So we'll walk away, we'll leave this session with some intentions around water and some intentions around flow. But for now, I want to start what's called a lake meditation. And this meditation is really wonderful to bring calm, to bring ease to our bodies, and to put ourselves back in the state of our natural flow. Just as a flow of water, we can intentionally bring our personality back into flow just by tapping into the properties of water externally, and even with imagination, as we'll do now in this meditation. So everyone, take a couple of deep breaths and settle into the practice. Keep your feet grounded on the floor, or if you're sitting cross-legged, then just feel the connection of your feet wherever they might be to the chair or the sofa that you're sitting on. And take a couple of deep breaths, expressing our gratitude for arriving, for being here, for our intention to flow today. Let's put our attention to our breath and just notice our breath as we inhale and exhale. Let's bring our awareness, our attention to our belly for a moment and notice the rise and the fall, the rise and the fall. Let's bring our attention to our heart space, to our lungs, noticing the expansion and the contraction, the expansion and the contraction. Informing our bodies that we could use any of these breath points, our bellies, our heart space and lungs, or the tip of our nostrils where we inhale and exhale. We can use any of these as an anchor. Giving ourselves permission to gently shut our eyes or to keep them open, softly gazing at a fixed point in front of us. Feeling the ground beneath us. As our breath, our mind, our body settle, please pick an anchor that works best for you. It could be the rising and the falling of your abdomen, the expansion, contraction of your chest, or your inhale, exhale, or the weight, the heaviness of your beautiful feet touching Mother Earth. As we bring ourselves into a state of flow with breath, bring into your mind's eye a beautiful, serene lake. It could be a lake that you have been to before, or just one that you can imagine. And just look with your mind's eye at the body of the lake. Look at the water glistening with the rising sun, the rays of the sun reflecting off of the surface of the lake. Within this lake is reflected. The tree, one tree, two trees, three trees, hundreds of trees. And this body of water being able to hold the reflection of everything that stands outside of itself. The water in this lake holds a reflection of the sky, the sun, and the trees. Blue sky, golden sun, the green trees. Keep that image in your mind for another minute or so and see how your body feels as in your mind's eye you look at the reflections in the water. Imagine a soft gust of wind touching the surface of the water in the lake, causing ripple after ripple after ripple, gentle ripples on the surface of the water in this beautiful lake. As night falls and the moon rises, this beautiful lake holds the image of the moon, a reflection of the midnight blue skies and the brightness and whiteness of the beautiful moon. In the winter, this very lake freezes, but just in the topmost surface. When the wind blows and the ripples form, those too happen just in the topmost surface of the water in the lake. Underneath the surface, the lake is always calm, serene, quiet, and at ease. With the next few breaths, imagine yourself being an extension of this beautiful lake. This lake-like nature exists very much within us. Our life is confronted with emotions and thoughts and ripples and movement. Can we keep in mind that this movement of emotions and thoughts is simply on the surface? Our changing thoughts and emotions, just like the clouds, cannot touch the calmness, the quietness, the serenity of what lies in the depth of our lake-like nature. Can we accept the movement of our emotions and thoughts as just that? And see if we can move our awareness to the depth of our calmness and just sit with our anchor, be it the breath or be it your feet, for a few minutes in silence, noticing the lake-like nature within, the flow of water, the movement within our bodies. Notice the sensations that you feel within your body when you sit in calmness, in a state of flow. Knowing that everything is still functioning and moving and flowing within our bodies. And yet, at the depth of who we are is silence, calmness, serenity, always available to us. For the next few minutes, let's sit in quiet with our lake-like nature. And if your mind drifts, bring it back to the flow of the water of the lake within you through your breath or through your anchor. Knowing deeply that the drift of the mind is just at the surface. The largeness of who we are lies in the silence beneath that surface. While in this flow state, if you notice any tension in your neck or shoulders, hips or legs, or any part of your body. Imagine being bathed in water and letting it go, allowing it to flow. In your own inner voice, as we end this meditation, please repeat after me in your inner quiet voice. I am water. When I'm in flow, I grow and I glow. I am water. When I am in flow, I grow and I glow. When you're ready, you can open your eyes gently and move your toes or hands and bring yourself back into the room. Take a deep breath or two. Welcome home. As we become mindful of water, our mind can take on its own flowing quality. Just as water is able to flow without hindrance into different containers, when we cultivate a light, flexible mind, we are able to flow into situations as they arise and change without energy sapping resistance. We enjoy sitting by a river or stream, watching the endlessly changing constant flow. Can we watch the flow of our life with calm eyes as well? At ease with impermanence and change, with the endless flow of cause and effect. So let that be our intention for the week, to stay in the flow. And a great way to do this is to remind ourselves of moments that we come in contact or connection with water, to really assume that, to take a minute and to connect with water deeply. So this week, as you flow into your week, if you're finding yourself anxious, then sip water, one sip at a time. Literally, if you take one sip at a time, instead of gulping the whole glass down, you'll taste the water, you'll feel the water, and that'll activate a flow within yourself. It'll remind you to be in flow, as water is always in flow, as water thrives best and stays fresh in a flow. It'll really remind your body to do that. That could be one practice, is drinking water. And another one could be when you wash your hands or take a shower. You could pick one, you could do all three. Take a few deep breaths as you wash your hands. We're all washing our hands so often now. And just really feel, what does that water feel against, what does the water feel like against my skin when I take a shower or wash my hands? And just notice, if you even notice the water flowing out of the tap. If you look at the water flowing out of the tap long enough, you'll dial into an internal flow. You can actually feel it within your body if you really just listen to the sounds. There's so many ways of doing this, so get creative, and I can't wait to hear all the creative ways that you flow this week. And I wish you all the best and a beautiful, flowing, glowing, growing week. I love you guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. Did everyone enjoy that? Was that good?
That was very good.
Oh, is that Gopi with us?
That is Gopi.
Hi.
And I'm so glad I joined.
I'm so glad you joined. I'm so happy you're here.
Miss you.
I miss you too. I miss you too. I hope everyone enjoyed and resonated with this meditation. It's such a great way to hit reset during the week. Thank you all. We'll see you next Monday.